friend of mine, Paul Joseph Watson, has a YouTube channel, and he spoke about this concept of hoeflation, hoe plus inflation, where when your grandparents, or rather your grandfather, was growing up, he had to do less work to find him a high quality woman, a woman that wanted to stay in the home, a woman that dressed conservatively, a woman that wanted to raise the children, a woman who did not want to be out sleeping with tons of men or putting her naked body on the, of course, then non-existent internet, right? Wanting people to see her naked. Now he's saying men have to work harder to find those same women. So they call this concept hoeflation. And you are seeing it in this environment as you speak to these women and they talk about how the money that they get is a justification for this lifestyle. And they speak down about men. They have this fundamental hatred of men, or rather a lack of understanding of what a quality man even is and where to find him.
So how many of you guys heard of this term, hoeflation, right? It's a term that's been going around a lot lately, right? It's hoeflation. Basically, hoeflation is the concept, well, it's a reality, that you, mister, have to work 10 times harder for a woman who is 20 times worse. Some would even argue 1,000 times worse than what your father got or your grandfathers got back in the day, right? They had to put in basically a quarter of the effort to get a decent, if not high value woman, where you have to put in just unbelievable amounts of effort to get a below average woman, right? And I do have some mixed thoughts on hoeflation. As a professional PUA, as somebody who still does game out there, as somebody who still runs boot camps and goes out to these venues, I have some mixed feelings about this because I'm out there in the field, right? I'm out there on the streets, right? I'm not sitting behind a microphone in my little studio like most of these talking heads, right? A lot of these red pill gurus that have never done a cold approach in their lives that actually try to give cold approach advice. I think it's very cute when they do that, right? I mean, if you ever want to watch it just for laughs, go ahead, right? I mean, I kind of laugh my ass off that these guys have never done a cold approach in their lives. Many of them are divorced with a kid, divorced single dads trying to give men, red pill advice. Always shocks me, much less pickup advice. No, if you want pickup advice, ask a pickup artist. But I will tell you, when it comes to hoeflation, I don't see this. It hasn't affected me personally as far as the women that I and my students normally go for. Has not affected me really at all because I teach guys to go for the 8s, 9s, and 10s, right? The 8s, 9s, and 10s of the world. This doesn't really affect them. I mean, those women, yes, they have a little bit more access to guys like on dating apps or whatever, social media. Many of them don't even use dating apps. Like a lot of the girls that I've dated in the past, they've, shockingly, a lot of them have not been on dating apps, and the ones that have used it very sparingly, right? However, when it comes to hoeflation, the demographic it affects the most, the demographic of women it affects the most, are really the average looking women, right? The 5s, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, maybe the 7s, right? Because if you look at all these videos of these chicks that are, when they're talking about hoeflation, you look at those girls, none of those girls are 8s, 9s, or 10s, right? I've never seen an 8, 9, or 10 talking about hoeflation, right? They're always 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s, overwhelmingly. Okay, overwhelmingly. And I've always said too, I've taught my pickup students, and you here on this channel as well, that when you go out there and you talk to women, cold approach women, or even just enter conversation with them, right? Those tend to be the women that value themselves the most, right? Those are the women that are claiming they're dime pieces. I'm a 10, I'm perfect 10, right? It's like, how could you be a perfect 10? You're like a 5 at best. You're about 80 pounds overweight. I mean, yeah, you're like 43 years old. How are you a 10? Right? Those are the chicks that are delusional. And that's really who's inflating the market of women, right? I mean, besides obviously, again, dating apps and social media and whatnot, but it's these chicks' attitudes that make it even worse because they are valuing themselves more they're valuing themselves above, you know, what the market is saying they're worth, right? And I have seen this in field for that fact is I see a lot more bad behavior and entitlement coming from women who are below an 8 in looks. Again, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, and the 7s. And I've said over and over, those are the women that are causing causing the rise of so-called hoeflation, just overestimating their own worth. Put it that way, right? They're overestimating their own worth, because it's like, no, you're not. You're not a 10. You can't get away with that type of behavior. And I mean, I've dated 10s. Even they don't act that way, right? Most of them have been, pretty polite. Most 10s that you meet that are like naturally gorgeous, naturally beautiful women, I'm talking about bona fide dime pieces, are actually pretty nice people, right? You'll be shocked. You think they're like, oh, this must be a bitch. No, they're actually pretty nice. They're actually kind of like humbled by the fact that they get so much attention and so much validation and so much free stuff, whereas the women who are just kind of average looking, and those are the women that will like pop on the fake eyelashes, do the lip fillers, do the collagen injections, get the fake boobs, get the butt implants. Those are the women that do all that plastic surgery. The reason they do that is try to compete with the naturally beautiful women, right? So I kind of have mixed feelings with this hoeflation stuff, because and I mean, most guys on average, I hate to say it, most guys are not going for the 8s, 9s, and 10s. Most guys are actually settling. Most guys out there, I'd say probably overwhelmingly close to 90% of men out there are settling for the average women, right? I'm talking about the 5s, the 6s, basically somewhere around there on average. I mean, I'm impressed when, just an average guy is able to get a 7 without cold approach skills, without pickup skills. And usually that guy meets that chick at work. If a guy gets a woman who's like a 7 or 8 in looks, it's because they work together. That chick is in his social circle somehow. He didn't walk up on the street and, work 7 months of mastery on that chick, right? That almost never happens. Because those chicks want a guy who's like socially calibrated and, has charisma and all that. And it's hard to come by these days when it comes to guys. But regardless, those are my thoughts on hoeflation so far.
Why should men be expected to bring more to the table than they ever have in order to please women who bring less to the table than they ever have?
Because the man is the provider, baby.
Why are women typically spoiled beyond their needs while men are typically deprived of their basic needs?
Because women deserve more.
Why do women often choose to make lists of what they want in a relationship rather than what they bring to the table?
Because it's women first. The man is there to accommodate for our needs.
What does a woman bring to the table?
Knowledge, common sense.
Did she really just say women bring common sense to the table? No. There's a reason why most of the debt in this country is owned by women, right? Yeah. That was hilarious. Women do not bring common sense to the table, but had to get that out of the way. But this just goes in line with everything she was saying, by the way. It goes in line with hoeflation, because she herself, not to take a big steaming dump on her, she herself is about a 6 in looks, right? Depending on the guy, if he finds her attractive, she could possibly be a 7 to him. If she's under 30 right now, she looks like she's about like in her 20s. So, but she's around a 6 in looks. Based on my scale, I have a pretty harsh scale. So, yeah, she's about a 6. She's got like I think she had like some fake eyelashes and whatnot, and a little bit of fillers. So, yeah, those are the type of girls that are causing the rise in price of average women, right? It's not really causing really hot women, again, the 8s, 9s, and 10s, to go up in price. It's really just these average women that I really teach you guys to stay away from anyway, right? Why are you even going for these women? I don't give these women much any attention at all, especially in venues. But I have noticed the attitude with these girls. I will say that in venues, like, because a lot of times a hot girl will have average looking friends around them. So these chicks, back in the day, these chicks would hang back and let me work game on the girl because they know I'm going for the hot girl, just like any guy would. And, you know, I'm not the only one who tried to pick up their hot friend, so they're used to it. And so they just kind of hang back. Whereas these days, the chicks will, like the average girls that they bring with them, will get offended if you don't talk to them too. And it's like, no, I don't want to talk to you, right? You're like, you know, I mean, no. You're like 100 pounds overweight. You're just not, I'm not attracted to you. You're, you know, 4'10". I don't want it, you know, I'm not interested. I'm interested in your like 5'8", you know, tall, hot looking girlfriend. You know, that's who I want to talk to. But yeah, so the average looking girls in the venue will actually get offended if you don't talk to them, and they, you know, they feel entitled to like the chads around, right? They, I mean, even online, they feel entitled to the chads. But you know who's really driving this, you know, this hoeflation is, you know, the incels of the world, right? The incels of the world who are liking all their photos, dropping all the comments, you know, constantly telling them, you know, how awesome they are and how they can do no wrong, and, you know, never calling them out for their bad behavior. However, that little trend is going to end soon, as I've mentioned in a previous video about AI, the rise of AI girlfriends, because a lot of these simps that are giving these women all sorts of attention online and on these dating apps, those guys are going to be lost to the AI girlfriend movement that is quickly coming, right? It's quickly coming. I believe it's going to become more mainstream in the next 10 years. I predicted that's going to be the end of women, and you're going to see like the whole deflation, right? You're going to see whole deflation by then, right? Right now we're going through whole inflation, but you're going to see whole deflation with the rise of the AI trend, because most of these incels are going to start turning to that. Many of them already are, right? Many of them are using these you know, these chat bots online, like the I think it's called like replicant, something like that, where they're chatting with this like AI girlfriend already, right? It's not real, but they're turning to that already for attention and you know, and affection and love. I mean, it's just not something I would do, but that's where the future's headed.
A lot of guys are socially awkward.
I think you're a bit ignorant to like the average guy's experience. Consider this, right? The average guy today, his granddad had to put in a quarter of the work to get the kind of woman that is 4 times as amazing as the woman he's attracted.
Oh, you're talking about hoeflation.
Yes, it's hoeflation.
Hoeflation. So modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were.
Yeah. It's true. It's actually true.
Absolutely correct. And if you look at the women on that panel that we just watched, you'll notice, do any of them look like dime pieces to you? You see any 9s and 10s in there? Nope. Right? It's these type of just kind of like trashy, you know, 304s and thoughts that are increasing the cost of average looking women, right? Which, as I've said, is what most guys end up getting, right? Sure, most guys will want a 9 or 10 or 8, but I mean, yeah, you really have to have some skill these days, right? Or some status or something. I mean, even back in the day, you had to have that, right? Even back in the day, I mean, we could go back 100 years ago to the 1920s. You couldn't just like pop a dime piece off the street. You had to have some kind of status, right? I mean, when we're going through the Great Depression in 1933, you couldn't just come along as, you know, some average Joe and, you know, nab a 10 because the Great Depression was going on. You would have had to have some status, right? You would have had to have some money in your account still, you know? So yeah, you would have had to have something, right? Or some just crazy extreme charisma. So when it comes to the 8s, 9s, and 10s, there's not really any, you know, inflation when it comes to those women. It's, you know, it's mostly the average women that most guys out there are going for. Most guys out there feel that's all they're worth, that, you know, that they settle for. Yeah, but you do have to work, as they said in the video, you know, a lot harder for a less attractive, louder, more obnoxious woman if you're going for those average types, right? This is why you got to get in 7 months of mastery, son. Click that link below. Quick plug, right? I will teach you how to go out there and get to 8s, 9s, and 10s. But as always, gentlemen, let me know what you think about hoeflation. Have you experienced it yourself? What are your thoughts on it, right? If I missed anything, drop your comment below. I would like to hear your take on hoeflation and the rising cost of average looking women out there. Let me know in the comments below. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Do it now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. Okay, more importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, it helps me out a ton, especially right now, guys. YouTube is on this just purge of, you know, not promoting channels like ours that are trying to help men. Okay, they don't like this type of content. So I need you guys to help me spread the word. So if you have other like-minded friends of yours who are also ready to be unplugged from the blue pill matrix and are ready to be red pilled, share my coaching videos with them so they could get a taste of what they're going to learn. Okay, promote my work and get them to subscribe to my channel, right? But it helps me out a ton when you guys are subscribed to my channel, because then we could really help grow and really build this thing and really change the world, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to change the world. So can't do it all by myself. Need you guys to help me out. So appreciate it if you subscribe and you get other like-minded red pill friends of yours to subscribe to my channel as well. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, baby. The best looking and most high caliber women on the planet. The type of women that your friends can only dream about. The type of women that your friends will only see in magazines. I'm going to teach you how to get these girls and bring them into your life. I'm going to teach you where to find them, what to say to them, how to approach them, and how to bring them into your life. I'm teaching you guys this stuff in 7 Months to Mastery. Okay, and I have many successful students who've been with me for years now that are in successful relationships. I've had more than a few students marry the woman of their dreams. We get thank you letters literally every single day. Okay, my staff, myself, constantly getting comments, thank you letters, like, oh my God, Em, you saved my life. I married the woman of my dreams, and oh, we've got this beautiful family now, and oh, you know, I met this girl and now she's my girl. I can't believe this chick is my girlfriend. Oh my God, I've dreamt about this chick forever. So I teach you how to get these girls and bring them into your life, right? The hottest girls on the planet. It's the 8s, 9s, and 10s. That's all we focus on, guys. So if you want to jump into 7 Months to Mastery, the first month is only $1, right? It's only $1 for the entire first month. And the reason why it's only $1 is because I want you to check it out for yourself and see how powerful these coaching lessons actually are and how much they can actually help you. So it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, and all you have to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.